Thralls are changing for the worse or for the better. There are heavy nerfs happening to Thralls in all sorts of departments in 3.0. However, there is also some really nice buffs people have been waiting for years in the game. Hello, my name's Kiahonfire and welcome to another Conan Exiles video. Today we are looking at how Thralls are changing in 3.0. Now, personally, looking over the update myself, I would say it's actually going to be a good thing because we're going to be receiving some things we've been wanting for years. Like, they have added a Elixir of Rebirth. This allows you to re-roll all of your perks on your Thralls if you are not happy with what it turns out with. So in this Accursed Berserker, you can see I've got a range of things in here that I perhaps might not be happy with. This is actually not too bad of a terrible roll. Perhaps I want something better though. I can use this Elixir of Rebirth, make the Thrall drink it, and you're going to see that it allows me to change the entire perk pool of this Thrall. So you can't choose it individually, but you can re-roll all three and maybe get something even better than you were expecting. And this seems to be unlimited. You can re-roll all you like as long as you can craft the potions to do it. So if you keep getting really unlucky, you can just keep rolling for better things. You're going to notice they actually removed a lot of attributes from the Thralls as well. There's no more accuracy in there, and you just have strength, agility, vitality, and grit. Grit is like your more defensive perk now, and you're going to be able to see some new, grit perks in there where they didn't exist beforehand. So no more accuracy, no more survival on Thralls that you have to worry about. They're going to roll way better now. So that is something that is really, really good happening to Thralls. However, this does come at a cost of health, because health has now been reduced and overall damage. However, remember, you can now use the authority attribute in your own learning to buff these things now. If you wanted to make one of these potions, all you need is an alchemy bench, and you need to learn it via the thaumaturgy bench. So it's an actual skill you'll learn via doing your sorcery magic. It's going to cost some demon blood, alchemic base, and some souls to be able to do this, and a normal water flask. So there you go. So you will need to sacrifice a Thrall for this, like just one out in the wild in a camp. But they're actually not too bad to make. Now, earlier I was talking about authority, and yes, that's going to be now your follower perk. So it's going to affect animal followers, humanoid followers, whatever follower. It's going to affect them all. It will give them bigger health pools, better damage, all sorts in here. It will affect them. And you can have another Thrall following you as well. You can see maximum followers increased by 1. However, you lose out on the points you've already put in, essentially. So it's your choice if you want 2 more following you, or if you want just 1 to be really extremely good. And you can see, just looking at my guarding Thrall, that's the current stats. But when I make it follow me, you can see it gets an increased health pool, and it will get really increased stats. I mean, look at that in comparison to the other one. That is amazing. All of those buffs and bonuses on my Thrall, I am really powering it up right now. But the only thing with this you need to bear in mind, especially with purges, is as soon as this Thrall is not following you anymore, then you lose out on all those benefits. So authority only affects those who follow you, so you have to be careful there. When your Thralls are just sitting there guarding you from the purge, they will just be them regular selves. But of course, you can use that potion on them, and then you can make them as strong as they can be in their own form. So it's pretty damn good. Now, if you were to corrupt your authority tree, this actually removes all those nice bonuses you saw earlier and gives you different things. Like, every time you hit a subject, you could summon a demon by doing this. Or you can get this increased of damage when you're hitting something. Your Thrall could go berserk and do increased damage, and that's happy days. So you could choose which one you prefer. Personally, I probably prefer just having it normal and not corrupted. The corruption tree is fun. I have experienced it. It is fun. You can spawn many demons by hitting something. In this video, I believe I managed to get about 4 demons to spawn, and it's all this demon monkey, like just the demon monkey I seem to be able to spawn. So you just hit away and you have a chance of some extra followers coming to help you. Although it does seem in this version, when I do swing around, I do seem to damage my own demon summoned, follower. So then it's a bit of a double-edged sword to me. And there you can see the frenzy is affecting the berserker thrall as well, so happy days there. Anyway, it is really cool to have this as 2 options you could have in the tree of authority. You'll have to just see what you prefer yourself, but you can still buff thralls and make them really good. You'll be happy to hear in this version of the game. It's not all lost, and you're going to have that new potion, which is honestly going to be quite OP, the fact that you can just unlimitedly do this. I don't know if they'll keep that up forever, because I could see people finding that quite OP. But that is definitely really, really good for PvE players and stuff like that, being able to reroll your thralls at a cost, you know. We've been waiting for that for ages, so it's a very, very welcome change. Now, some of you might have noticed that Beastmaster Teimos got a big fat nerf. He got put back into his faction because apparently he was in the Forgotten Tribe, where he was supposed to be in the Pirate Tribe for base attributes. Now, you'll be happy to hear he's still pretty decent. Like, he's still got a decent health pool. He can turn out pretty good. Even when I level him up to 20, you can see his health still, you know, combats my accursed berserker. So that's still really good there. Like, he's gotten some good rolls as well from that, you can see, so that does help. But of course, you could just re-roll that now, so that doesn't really matter. But he turned out still pretty decent. You can get some good rolls on this guy still, so it's not all gone, you know. You can still enjoy a nice Beastmaster Teimos if you like. He might not just hit as hard as he once used to, but you could probably still get him up to par and scratch like before. He probably still does some pretty decent damage. You're going to notice as well, as I'm moving around with him, there is now a limit on how far you can move a thrall, and it is quite finicky depending on angle and whatever else. Like, sometimes it immediately stops me picking it up and moving it, and other times I can move him right across the grass plane, you know, and it's absolutely fine. So there is now a limit to this that you can do. After a while, it will stop them moving you, so you can only move them a little bit. And around your base and stuff, you can't just, you know, go on a trip with them now and have them on pickup. I used to do this quite a lot, just to move thralls around. It was quite handy. But you won't be able to do that anymore, so there's that. However, if you were moving base and stuff, you could always do your maximum attribute to authority and just have 2 following you at the same time, and that would work just as good. So as we thought this patch might be nerfing them pretty badly, it does seem that they're actually getting a new lease of life. So this could actually be a really positive thing. And so far from what I've seen, they still feel the same. You know, they might be a bit more squishy these days, and you might need to put some points in authority to make them better, which you absolutely do. But they're still handy. If you want to still go around with the thrall and stuff, you can, and you can make it good. And it can still take on them really hard bosses and whatever else. And they also said in a later patch we'll be getting a little extra to help them with their, you know, keeping them alive and stuff. So I'm interested what that will be. But anyways, that's going to be it from me. Don't worry about thralls, guys. They look to be having a bit more of a brighter future. But anyway, thank you for watching. I love you all, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye-bye!